Hello Aries, welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back, and for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Aries, this is going to be your December 2023 reading. This will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus cross watcher. If that is you, welcome to the channel as well. Guys, discern the messages as it applies and reverse the roles as necessary, right? Don't force anything to fit. Aries, Spirit said, put your suit of armor on, because you could be burning the candle at both ends. Things may feel like they're spiraling for you right now. We're going to see how that spiral is taking place in your world, but I'm going to adjust here real quick, a little lopsided kind of, I don't know what's going on there. So we'll see. Pay attention, make sure you're listening to your higher self. This is going to be a really interesting reading, I think, Aries, for you guys. It's already kind of giving me these interesting, I don't know, very different vibe, Aries, very different vibe here. So we're going to pull the cards. I really quick want to say thank you to all the subscribers, new and those who have stuck around. I appreciate you guys. That information, Jesus, I'm 10 steps ahead of myself. Personal reads are open and available. That information can be found in the description box below the About section of the page, as well as at holisticallyzenwv.com for a full list of products and services. You guys can find all kind of cool things on there. All right, Aries, let's get to your reading. Let's see what's happening. Spirit is redirecting me here already. All right, Aries, what does Aries need to know, Spirit, in the month of December? They're giving me the word outcast. Aries, I feel, and I got the chills immediately, so here we go. Something that you're doing could potentially put you in what feels like being outcasted from a specific group, a specific situation. This could be in relation to family, your work. It's definitely outside of you. It's like, you know that there's something that you need to do, and the time card came out, and it's me, it's like, it's time. Like, your past experiences have led you to this point. Your past experiences of interweaving all of the things that you have learned throughout this year are kind of coming to a head. And people may not agree with the decisions that you're making. People may not agree with how you're going about doing things, because it could feel like, it could feel really foreign to you, how you're moving, because I don't think you ever thought that you would be in a place to start to make the decisions that you're making, okay? And I do feel like this message is taking on a serious connotation, because I think that ultimately you're leaving back and behind a world where we can call it conditioning, call it a belief system, call it traditions, call it a way of being, right? Like, you have to do things on these terms and conditions. And Aries, I don't feel like you're going to do that anymore. So and I've seen this for you guys in the past, like this spiritual awakening process, and with the North and the South node being in Aries and I almost said Taurus, Aries and Libra, I'm not surprised to this, because you're awakening to, maybe you didn't have, maybe you had a religious upbringing, but now you're seeing another way where it doesn't have to be based on religion. It could be based on spirituality. You could have been a part of a group or a crowd that said, this is the way we do things here. And now you're like, it's almost like you're getting ready to make a grand exit. And everybody's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And it's like, it's time. The time is now. The time is here. The time has come for me to flourish. And I don't even think that you're fully aware yet, Aries, how you're going to flourish or what this even means for you in the long-term projection. But interestingly enough, it's like you're being pushed out of the nest. And other people are going. It's like, kind of like, you think about it, a cat that's born deformed or something, right? Or somebody who just stands out, like they're outcasted, a bird that's been wounded or didn't come out right out of the egg, you know, essentially it gets pushed out on its own. And it's like, you didn't come into this world deformed or fucked up, and it's not like mama bird's pushing you out, or the mama cat is ignoring you and just leaving you out because there's something the matter with you. You are pushing yourself out into this new emergence of who it is you are becoming. That may feel, It's funny because it feels a little scary in a way, but in another way, I don't even think you're thinking it through. Like you're just going, you're just doing, you're taking that action. That fire energy is catapulting you into this new way of being, Aries. And I'm going to tell you, like, I wish I could like take my energy and like give it to you guys so you could feel what I feel right now. But it is like, it is time to move. And I think that these moves that you're making when you go into 2024, it is the birth of creation for you. It is the birth of a completely different you, and people may not get it, and it's not their job to get it. It's for you to understand. Okay, so it's like Spirit is saying aligning with your own destiny. It's aligning to a higher perspective of yourself, seeing yourself differently. But I do feel like I'm looking at this Aries card, right? His one arm is free. There's nothing wrapped around this arm, but if you look at this one, there's fire wrapped around it. And it's almost like trying to be pulled back into a way. And it's like people are going, wait a minute, don't do that. Because if you do that, then you could lose your job, you could lose your family, you could do. But Aries, the thing about this is, I don't think that this isn't like you're out screwing around if you're married, right? And you go, oh, what are you doing? This is a higher elevation, higher awakening, a higher perspective outside of this shitstorm that's been going on for such a long time. This can be the constraints and the constructs of the things that you're realizing just weren't right. They weren't fair. They weren't being done on a more, I'm going to call it on a scale for the betterment of the collective. Like Aries, you're starting to forge a path. And I think if any of you, and we all deal with it in some degree, right, our egos, you're starting to step outside of that egoic space and realize, here's the deal. And I'm going to say to you guys too, separate of that, Spirit's directing me, check your placements in your North and South node, because if you have an Aries in your North node, this reading is probably going to resonate the most for you. But all Aries will be affected by this, no doubt about it. Some more strongly than others, but it's pushing against the grain. And it's not a form of resistance, it's a form of breaking free from the resistance that everybody else says you have to live by. Okay? So major message just on that one card and intuitively. So thank you for that, Spirit. All right, Spirit. What else does Aries need to know for the month of December 2023? Healing. This, again, is an ending coming in. The bonds that you have created or that you have been a part of potentially your whole life. You're putting your foot down. You're standing in your power. You're not relying on this mass group of people or situations anymore. Like it's almost like coming down. I was going to say, I've seen this. There's two people on that card. So you may have the support of singular kind of energy. So a specific person could be encouraging this because they see it differently. They may have had some other worldly experience or something in the ethers that they've had an experience with that they can understand where you're going. They get it. They understand why you are moving this way. So you may feel like there's only one other person in the world that understands you, but they are supportive. They've been brought into your world via this bond of evolutionary soul's growth. They get it. For some of you, this could be in regards to love. They could be transforming your love life by being a part of your world, and you're starting to see things differently. You're creating new bonds and new structures in your world. But I think for a lot of you, this has to do with social and economical structures. The structures, 9/11, they're on the clock. I keep seeing that number. You may be seeing that number because I've got 19 and 1 here. So 191, 119, 9/11, whatever. But where was I going with that? Got sidetracked. This has to do with something outside of you. The structures that have been built, it's like a tower moment. You're like, this is all bullshit. This is all an illusion. This is a joke. It's made up. It's like money. Money is just made up. So whatever group, I'm going to say group or organization that you've been a part of, or whatever it is that you've been involved in for so long, you're realizing it was all bullshit to begin with in some way. It needs redone, rebuilt, reassessed, reorganized. Going into Mercury retrograde, I forget the exact dates, but we are in the pre-shadow phase. Mercury happens, retrograde happens in December. I think it takes us into January. But distraction. This has been a distraction. And I think that these people that are trying to pull you down and pull you under with them is, they're part of the distraction. They live in the distraction. They don't give credence to the things that are illusionary. They don't look at these things and go, wait a minute, this doesn't really make sense. Like, why would we do this way? This is the card of Cancer as well. You could be dealing with a Cancer and or a Pisces. So a lot of water energy along with this fire. Spirit just said it's time to put the fire out. And I think that fire, again, is falsified structures and a way of doing things that they've never really worked. And with Pluto moving into Aquarius, to see this kind of energy on the table, not the least bit surprised. It is revolutionary. It is massive change. Aries and Mars energy, right? That's revolution. 11:11 on the clock. Pluto and Aquarius, falsified structures, a complete and utter freaking breakdown of systems and societies and banking and you name it, and it's in there and it's being transformed and it's changed. Ruled by Scorpio, right? Scorpio sits there. That is their house of death and rebirth. Sits with Mars as well. You may have Scorpio placements, or this partnership could have to do with a Scorpio. So very, very, very powerful message here for you, Aries, as we just get this reading started. 12 minutes in, and it's very, very significant. What's interesting to me is, like, everybody else is living in this illusion, and then, like, for you with this card, like, I feel like the center face is you. You know, everybody's following the right or the left, and you're going straight down the center. 12-12, heading straight down the center. It's like, oh no, I see the path forward. And if you want to veer and you want to veer, you go right ahead, but I see the path forward. That the awakening is happening for you. Very interesting. Very interesting, Aries. Whoa, let's see what's come out here. In the past, community. Again, those groups of people, right? I talked about that already. Those groups of people, they'll defend. Understand that, like, if you have a different perspective, and we see this in society as a whole, right? If your opinion is different than mine, or yours is different than somebody else's, or whatever it might be, people just get butthurt, right? Like, they get pissed off and like, what do you mean? Oh my God, you can't. No, that's not the way it is. And then they lose respect for you because you don't agree with them. They don't accept the idea that something could be very different than their view and or perception of a situation. So if 13, keep seeing the numbers for you guys. So if you don't see it on their terms, then you're no good to them. They're unfriending you on Facebook. They don't want to talk to you anymore. You're like the outcast, right? They just lose respect and genuine human compassion of, hey, you're you and I'm me, but it doesn't mean we have to fight, right? It doesn't mean I have to hate you. It doesn't mean I have to throw shade to you. It just means that's how you feel. This is how I feel. I respect our differences. Let's move on and move forward. And I don't think, Aries, in the grand scheme of things, you're going to be dealing with people like that, either that are going to be compassionate or understanding to how you want to move forward because you see it differently than they do. Be prepared for headbutting and people walking away from you at this point because they don't want to see it. Because it challenges a belief system that they have built their entire structure on, and it doesn't fit you anymore. You're moving away from that. You know, they don't want to see both sides of the coin. They want to see it one way. And I really feel like this is going to affect every foundation in your own world. The sun, illumination, lighting it up, right? Starting to see clearly. In the sun, we can see everything. Everything is bare and open. It's going to bring in balance and harmony. It's going to bring in the beauty of the world around you because you're going to start to see the beauty in things that are very different than the way you used to see them. So let's see here. And in the future, Spirit, I'm just going to do past, present, and future and clarify these guys. Appreciation. I just heard thanks for your time. You may end up knocking on different doors. So again, work, love, meeting people, whatever this might be. You know, if you're, I don't even know why I'm gonna say it, but if you're selling something, okay, say you're a salesman and you're going around door to door to door to door, you might only be getting one sale out of every 10 doors that you knock on. But it's not about those 9 that you didn't get. It's about that one that believes. It's about the one that trusts you to make things right. It's a course correction, Spirit is saying. It is on the bottom of the deck, yin and yang. It is the balancing energy of that energy. It's the divine feminine. It's the divine masculine. Your emotions could be hurt, and you're maybe going through a period of healing as these people start to exit your life because you've separated yourself from this. You're starting to realize the differences within people and within you. Yeah, maybe you did fit into that box for a long time, and that's okay. But you're awakening to the difference. And it's like they may feel like you're turning your back, that you've gone cold on them once you took a break. It's like, again, and I've said this before in various situations and different readings, that once you separate yourself from something that you've been so immersed in for so long, and you take a step back and you look at it from the outside perspective, you start to see where things weren't quite right, where they were a little off. And when we're involved in our own lives and with people and the distractions around us, we have to take a step back and go, wait a minute, does this make sense anymore for me? Is this who I am now? Yeah, maybe 10 years ago when we all became friends, that's who I was. But is this who I am now? Because you're going to start to see, and you're not going in nitpicking at people. You're just seeing the differences. Little things are happening, and it feels like it's very subtle. But when you separate yourself and you have that moment of rest for yourself, like a moment of solace and quiet, it's making your wheels spin. It's making you think about the interaction. It's making you think about the way things are happening, how they're changing, who you are, who they are. Do your values align? I don't think it's the same anymore, Aries, and I don't think it's never going to be the same again. 1717, your wish fulfillment is coming in. There's Aquarius star energy with that. All right, let's clarify. This community, 6 of Cups. Again, these could be childhood friends, long lost loves, past life soul connections that you've dealt with. You guys were brought together so that you could see. Plain and simple, brought together so that you could see, so you could, come back together in that soulmate energy. You have a reason to learn off of one another. You're learning off of somebody, even if maybe you've known this person for, 10 years. You work in the same profession. Maybe you don't work with them every single day, but you've watched the way they move. You've watched the way they operate. And then in the last 6 months, you're like, wait a second. Is that really who you are? Like, that's not what, I didn't think that's what we stood for. Is that who you stand for? Is that what you do? And it's not you shunning them. You're just realizing that there's almost an arrogance, an egoic space around these people, that they may not move with integrity. They may not move in a space of love and compassion. That they're lower vibrational beings. Part of their soulmate connection to you is to help you see, to understand, so that you can heal and move on and move forward. Okay? So it's like, and again, going back to that appreciation, once you see this with the sun, being able to appreciate it for what space it held in your life during that time. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Taking back, again, this is twofold here. Spirit's giving me 2 things. One, they could feel, like I said, you've turned your back on them. This is you just going, I don't want to give here anymore. Right? Like, I don't want to give to this situation anymore. There's nothing left to give to this, because I see what I'm getting out of it, and the benefits of it are pretty null and void. For them, it's like you quit giving. You quit doing. Again, that outcast kind of energy. I'm not going to give you anything anymore. And then feeling some kind of way because you're taking back what it is that you've put out there. It's like, maybe you were an overgiver, Aries. hitting the brakes on that. Now wait a minute. I also feel like it's like if you don't follow suit with them, again, that idea of there's no respect here anymore, a little cunning, a little snide, like, what am I getting back from you? Okay, I hope that's making sense the way that's coming in. One more card for Aries, please, in this. The Hierophant. The Emperor. It's a control, it's a power dynamic here in this awakening for you, Aries, and people will try to demand. They will try to rule. They will try to lay their fist down, lay the law down. And they're ready for battle. But I just see you walking away from this. I don't see you engaging in it. The power and control that you're taking is in your own personal life. It is your own personal power. With them, it's, dude, what are you doing? Why are you walking? Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, this isn't you. All of a sudden, you're going to change and flip up on us. You know, it's like, oh, all of a sudden you're wearing Adidas instead of Nike. Like, what? That's not what we do in this group. It's shifting. It's a massive shift, Aries, throughout December that you're going to really start to feel the ahas, the I sees. They're coming in for this long-term change. Yeah, again, I said, it's almost like taking back, giving back, not paying attention to you. Just, you know, you are out on your own. The Moon, the Four of Cups, the Two of Cups. Not giving to certain things in this bond. Again, this bond, the Two of Cups and bond, sit here tightly together, and then you've got love behind it. You may only be supported by one or two people, Aries, but I think that you start to see that when people are truly working together for the greater good of all, how much more fulfilling that is. And it's almost like there's a little bit of fear attached to you making these moves, but it's like you're cautiously excited for the changes that are coming. Don't know what to expect. The unknown that we have seen all second half of this year. We don't know how it's happening, but we know it's happening. We don't know where we're going to be, but we know it's happening. It's putting trust and blind faith in the process in which we're being guided, okay? What is the Sun for Aries, please, Spirit? What is the Sun for Aries? Eight of Cups. Walking away. Walking away to your happiness. Walking out. There's that Tower. The Five of Wands, the Strength card. You're going to have to find perseverance. And Aries, again, like I feel like you guys, you most often have this determination of once you make up your mind, and you're off to the races. It's like you're walking away from the night. You're walking away from the illusion. You're walking away from things that are less than satisfying for you. It's come up short every time. This may feel like an internal tower moment for you, and it's going to feel like a tower moment for the people that Spirit just said want what you're going to have. Again, you see the light. You see the light at the end of the tunnel. You see how this is moving forward. You've got the Knight of Cups coming out. You're taking off to give to something else that is more emotionally fulfilling. And again, I do feel like somebody is coming in here offering you in your time, I'm going to call it in your time of need, when you're feeling like abandoned, alone, almost regretting your decisions, somebody's coming in here. It's almost like Spirit is saying that they're already working. They're working out the process so that this person comes into your world. So they can come in and offer you that emotional support when you need it the most. Because it's like, wow, did I make the right decision? Should I have walked away from this? Should I have not have said that to my mom? Should I have not have said this to my sister? Should I have not told my colleagues what I'm doing? Did I piss my wife off one too many times? It's just like when you feel like you are in your loneliest point, this all changes. Aries, I would not be surprised if this is a divine feminine. Spirit also said that could be an Aries, Emperor being you as well, by the way. that is coming in to show you massive support. They get it. They understand why you're making the moves you're making. And I also feel like this person is a bit silent. Like, they give you space. They're offering you space to be you. They're offering you space to step into who you need to be for yourself. They're giving you love and comfort and support. And, you know, it's like sometimes just somebody saying, I don't know if I can do anything, but I'm here. That's the support we need the most. It doesn't mean we need somebody to do anything or even say anything. Just being there, knowing you've got someone to back you up. And that's kind of what I feel this person is. They're bringing in the sunshine. They're bringing in the light. They're bringing in the happiness. They're bringing in the joy. They're teaching you new things. I like that energy. And again, right when this massive change really starts to take place, you could be looking about the third week of December from the way it feels to me right now. Timelines are going to be different for all of you. But I do think by the third week of December, it's like, whoa. Because it's like moving into the holiday season too. If you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, anything like that, you could be feeling like you didn't get invited. You weren't, you know, you're spending the holidays alone, that kind of thing. Like, it comes in the perfect timing, the divine timing for you. What is this appreciation about for the sign of Aries, please, Spirit? What is this appreciation? The Chariot, Cancerian energy. I'm telling you, there's a lot of water energy here, Pisces. You've got Six of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Knight of Cups, that Love card. Where else? I seen water somewhere else. Where was it? Got it in the sun. It's nurturing, nourishing. And then you've got Cancer, the Chariot, all the Five of Cups. So interesting. Spirit is saying back to the sacred and centered you. I like that. All right, what is this appreciation? Eight of Swords. Aries, expect to feel a little... There's the sun, again, on the bottom of the deck. Expect to feel a little slighted when it comes to certain people. I mean, it's just... I think that these people, these situations have just been with you for so long that you can't help but not feel the loss of whether it's behavior or... I'm going to take it, it started to come out. Whether it's behavior, the things they say, the things they do, they're trying to keep you stuck. They're trying to keep you stagnant. But you're working. I told you, you're learning, right? That Eight of Pentacles on the bottom. Nine of Cups. Shut the front door, right? Nine of Cups, King of Wands. You are taking inspired action towards your wish fulfillment, and you're willing to put in the work. You're willing to bust your ass. You're willing to be the apprentice. You're willing to learn. You're willing to get down to the nitty-gritty, to the fine details of every single thing that's going on in your world. And I want to say this to you. I do feel like a lot of this could pertain to your working arena of life. I know there's not a lot of pentacles here, but it has to, again, I'm going to reiterate, it has to do with the external structures in your life. So whether these are groups of friends, I do get a lot of like groups kind of energy with this reading. It's like solitarily you, and then there's all of them. Okay? But this Chariot, the Eight of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, you're going to have high moments, you're going to have low moments, especially when you're going through some kind of awakening. It's the inevitable. But they happen to balance you out at the end of the day. Like, when it's said and done, it balances itself out for you. So I don't think that you need to worry about this. You just need to trust that what you're doing is attracting in the right situations. The Queen of Wands, Aries, there you are. You're attracting in true fulfillment. You're attracting in things that are operating from the heart space rather than from the egoic space. It's like no more devil energy. You're stepping away from it. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I said in the daily reading today to everybody else. You will be tested again. It's the inevitable. If I could talk, we'd be okay. We have to go through those tests. We have to see if we've learned our lesson. So, you know, you really are going to have to start to discern the company that you keep, the people that are around you, where they operate from, why they say and do the things that they do. But they're trying to keep you stuck. And it's like this Knight of Cups is coming in to try to help you start to see other ways. The Two of Pentacles, it can go either way, right? But it's going to be what you make of it at the end of when it's all said and done. But you're doing it from a loving space. As long as you're doing it from the space of the heart, you're not going to have anything to worry about. But December, a lot of awakening, a whole lot of awakening. Might leave you speechless, you know. I think you may have toyed with this here and there leading into the Aries Libra shift in July, when those two signs moved into the North and South node. So I would go back even 6 months and go, where have you seen things begin to unravel that you're like, you know, the idea may have popped up in your head. It may have been brought to your attention by something or someone, and then it kind of came and it kind of went, and maybe a couple months later you've seen it again, and then each time though it's coming harder and quicker and faster and more in your face. And now, Spirit said 6 months ago, Gemini season, now here you are. Taurus, Gemini season. Now here you are. You can't not see it anymore. And when you see this on the bigger scale, when you see this in your face every moment, you can't get away from that. When you start to awaken, the things that you start to see, you can't unsee them. You will never view it the same way again. You can't. It's like once spirituality, it gets into you, or whatever this is for you, it doesn't have to be spirituality, whatever this awakening process is for you, it can't be undone. Because it's like, oh shit, I need to know more. I need to understand this. 3223. It's showing you who you used to be and now who you are. It's working with the self. All right, Aries, what is the advice? 17, I think I told you earlier, 17 on the clock. What is already with you? I said earlier, like, it's always been you. It's just now the realization as to how all of these people, situations, structures, organizations, whatever it's been, how far they took you away from your soul's purpose, your soul's growth, your understanding of the flower of life, the sweetness of life. And now it's time to transform that energy. It's opening yourself up. It's releasing those things that don't serve you so that you can step into the beauty of what is too. And I'm going to take all of these. I said, pushing against the grain, there it is. It's going your own way, bare, naked, open to that massive change. It is taking, it's you taking that forward approach from this distraction while everybody else veers off and gets lost along the way. You are awakening, divinely awakening to something here. The other two cards. Listening for the truth. Listening for truth. And I told you, I think earlier, didn't I, about listening? Paying attention to what's going on. Is what you've been told, is what you've been fed, has it been an illusion, or did you actually hear that? And this is also asking you to trust the wheels that are spinning, how they're all starting to work together like a fine oiled machine. Your intuition kicking in. Trust it because it's guiding you. With this, I've got to watch because she doesn't have any clothes on. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. You are releasing that darkness. You're releasing that egoic stuff. You are coming out of the shitstorm and being taken into the light. Your determination and your energy is not going to change. It's being redirected. So it isn't like you're losing your fire. you're being redirected on how to use that fire accordingly. Because you're seeing it from a higher perspective. This diving for light, this person that's coming in for you, Aries, you know, you see these seahorses mate for life. This is a long-awaited return, Spirit is saying, of a soul connection. This could be from a couple of lifetimes ago, but it's a long-awaited return because they haven't forgot about you. It's like your soul's going to know exactly who this is. For some of you, I don't think you've met this person in this 3D yet. For others of you, you could have been at a distance. It's almost like you may have known each other at some point, disconnected, but now it's coming back around. Your desires are going to be met. This growth is going to be met. And then there's a fern. I want to look at something. I can't remember. I want to share this with you, and then you can, of course, look it up yourself and dig a little deeper. There's a fern they're showing me. One way to look is that the fern grows deep in the forest and requires dedication and a willingness to be solitary. When I tell you, you're separating yourself. You may feel like an outcast, but it grows and it thrives on its own. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, and actually here, I'll be so kind here. There's, let me see if it numbers these. Hold on real quick. Nothing is ever just a simple, here's straight to the point, right? I'm not sure. I'll let you guys look it up though, because this is going to take too long. But look up the spiritual meaning of the fern, but nonetheless it grows up. It grows on its own. I've got one actually back here in the living room. All right, guys, I'm going to leave this here. I think this was an absolutely beautiful message, and this awakening, it's going to balance you out. You're going to see, you're going to open up, and it might seem a little like, what the hell's happening? But Aries, just make the move. Take the dive. The right people in the right time are going to come to you, and they're going to watch it flourish. You can't go wrong. Seriously. All right. I'm leaving it there. Aries, personal reads are open for the next 2 weeks. That information can be found in the description box below, as well as the About section of the page. Visit me at holisticallyzenwv.com. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Let me know what you think, what's going on in your world. Are you seeing these things? What's new? What's growing for you? I'm wishing you guys the very best in December, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Sending my love.